Faith stared out of her apartment window, her breath fogging up the glass. The rain was relentless, streaking down in chaotic patterns like her thoughts. It had been 3 weeks since Loren entered her life, and everything had spiraled into a waking nightmare. She replayed their first encounter for the 100th time, trying to pinpoint the moment she should have walked away. The unsettling details were so obvious now, but in the moment they'd seemed like quirks, things she could laugh off or overlook. She'd been wrong. Faith had always been skeptical about dating apps, but 90-Day Love Link seemed different. It was marketed as a way to find serious relationships quickly, perfect for someone like her, who didn't have time for endless casual flings. Her best friend, Lily, had convinced her to sign up, swearing it was worth a shot. When Loren's profile popped up, it was unremarkable. His bio was vague, and his photos were unassuming. A man in his early 30s with short brown hair, a lean build, and a shy smile. What caught Faith's attention was his message. "You seem like someone who notices the beauty in small things. I admire that." It was different from the usual generic lines. Intrigued, she replied. Their conversations started slow, with harmless banter about work, hobbies, and favorite foods. Loren was a graphic designer who worked remotely, and he loved nature, claiming it inspired his art. "I noticed you wear open-toed shoes in a lot of your pictures," he wrote one evening. "Your feet are stunning. Do you get that a lot?" Faith hesitated. It wasn't the worst thing a man had ever said to her, but it was peculiar. Still, she brushed it off with a polite, "Not really." "I guess I never thought about it." Loren's response came almost immediately. "Well, you should. You have the kind of feet people dream about." By the time Loren suggested meeting in person, Faith had started to notice the oddities in their conversations. He often steered topics back to her feet. What kind of shoes she wore, if she ever went barefoot, how she took care of them. It was strange, but she told herself it wasn't a deal breaker. Everyone had their preferences, right? They met at a cozy cafe on a sunny afternoon. Faith had picked the location specifically because it was public and familiar. Loren arrived on time, wearing a neat button-down shirt and jeans. He looked more nervous in person, his hands fidgeting as he spoke. At first, the date was pleasant. Loren was soft-spoken and polite, asking her thoughtful questions about her job as a teacher and her love for photography. But as the conversation progressed, his fixation emerged. "You must be on your feet all day at work," he said, his gaze flickering down to her sandals. "How do you keep them looking so perfect?" Faith laughed nervously. "I guess it's just a habit." "You should let me see them sometime," Loren said, his tone casual but his eyes intense. "I mean, really see them." Faith felt a chill run down her spine. She changed the subject quickly, but Loren's strange comments lingered in her mind long after the date ended. Faith thought ignoring Loren's texts would make him lose interest. She was wrong. The messages became more frequent, more insistent. He started sending her links to articles about reflexology and foot health, accompanied by notes like, "Thought of you," or "This reminded me of our conversation." When Faith blocked his number, he found her on social media. He started commenting on her photos, nothing overtly inappropriate, but enough to make her uncomfortable. Then one evening, she came home to find a package on her doorstep. Inside was a pair of red high-heeled shoes, along with a note. "You should wear these. They'd make your feet look even more beautiful." Faith's stomach churned. She called the police, but their response was dismissive. Without direct threats or proof of harassment, there wasn't much they could do. Faith started noticing small, eerie changes in her daily routine. Her trash cans were moved, as if someone had rifled through them. She'd hear faint knocks on her door late at night, But when she looked through the peephole, no one was there. The final straw came one evening when she was in bed, scrolling through her phone. A notification popped up, a new direct message request on Instagram. "I know you're home. Can I come in and see you? Just for a minute. I miss you so much." Face blood turned cold. She bolted up, locking every door and window in her apartment. Here, the story builds to its tragic conclusion. Loren's obsession escalates into a dangerous confrontation, leading to a final, heartbreaking outcome.